Welcome to What's Brewing in Admissions, a roundtable podcast answering all your questions. It's everything you need to know about college.
Hello, this is Rebecca Harrison, and I am the Director of Admissions at Heritage Christian University. We are doing our very first live podcast with What's Brewing in Admissions. If you know us or have seen us before, you probably have seen us having a coffee bar. So we decided that we love to drink coffee. We drink it all day long in the office. And so we thought, what better way than to spend a little time with you drinking a cup of coffee. I'm going to pass it on, and we're all going to introduce ourselves today so you can kind of get to know us better.
My name is Dwayne Tapscott, Coach Tap here at Heritage Christian University. I work in the admissions department, also preach at Southwest Church of Christ in Huntsville and Piney Grove Church of Christ in Winfield. Good to be a part of this podcast this morning.
My name is Caleb Baker. I also work in the admissions office at Heritage Christian University. I have worked in ministry in the past, but this is my primary form of ministry now. I see this as my ministry. I attend the Crosspoint Church of Christ here in Florence, Alabama, primarily when I'm not on the road somewhere, which is quite frequent, but when I'm at home, I do like to spend time with my family there. But I will pass it on to Rebecca, let her tell you a little bit about herself.
So I told you I was the Director of Admissions, but I also am married to JT Harrison, who also works here. So you probably see us a lot on the road together. We travel. He preaches at different congregations, and I recruit students. That's one of the cool things about doing ministry for me. I love doing that. Being able to, we stay gone a lot, so that helps that we're able to travel together. One of the other things, I attended Killen Church of Christ, and pretty much like the rest of these guys, we travel so much that sometimes they wonder if we're really members there. So we get checked on, thankfully. They catch up on me, but yeah, I absolutely love working here. I don't really actually think this as work. I love this job. If you've ever talked to me, you know that it's exciting for me. I never dread getting up and coming to work with these guys. Pretty fun.
Well, I'm Kristen Sampson, and I've been working here for about a couple years now. And my husband's Caleb Sampson. He's the behind the scenes guy, helping making all this happen and encouraging us to get this going because we do have a lot of fun. And it is a lot of fun working with this team and traveling. And we have some really cool experiences. And we're ready to share them with y'all and answer questions that you might have about heritage and admissions. And I've been working for admissions, like I said, for about 2 years now, and working at the front desk as well, getting to know a lot of different people, a lot of different angles. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we thought it would be really cool to kind of start with at the top, which is our mission. If you don't know who we are, this guides our why. We titled this podcast "Know Your Why." So we think this actually the mission of the school is what drives everything we do. The mission of the school, for me, I always think about it like this. We're here, we exist. The purpose, we are here. We've been here for 55 years, and the same purpose from the very, very beginning. The mission is to support the churches of Christ, so that anything that we do, we grow the church. And so I always tell the team that, if you have a question whether I should do this or that, you just run it through the mission, and if it points toward the mission, then you got your answer. Yeah. And so that really is I think for me, it's always really helpful in what we do every day. The mission, that's what it means to me. That's what's the most helpful thing. But the bottom line is the end goal, the end game is to save souls. Mm. So the more people we can prepare for ministry, the better we are at getting to that goal that God has purposed for us. So I don't know if you guys want to jump in and say kind of what that means to you, the mission, how that guides your everyday work.
I think the mission is mainly ministry. For me, I love the mission. I love the ministry. I love the aspect of dealing with a lot of people. So It's focus driven on helping people. So if it's focus driven, it helps keeps me focus driven. So I love that particular aspect of the mission.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I always like, you know, what Kirk has to say when he gets up and talks about the school. He talks about usually when he winds it up, he talks about how making ministers is our ministry. That's what we do here at HCU, and I think that's the way that I've always viewed it. I've been a part of the school. We were talking about that on the way in here this morning. Um, it's getting to the point I don't even know how long I've been here. I started as a student in 2018, but I did Titus camp before that, and so I've been around for a long time. And even after I graduated, the school just could not get rid of me. They hired me on to work here, and so I'm very privileged to get to stay on and help make sure that we stick to this mission each and every day. And I take that very seriously. That we make sure that we stick to that mission, that we don't drift away from that, because that's who we are. That's what sets us apart from everybody else. So
Yeah, I agree. I think that when you talk about when you're, what you're saying there is, you want to think about, okay, so there's so many Christian schools. Well, there's not comparative to all the universities,
Right.
In the country, but we have several really great Christian schools, and we love those schools, and we have a really great relationship with all of those schools.
Yep.
And we love them, and they love us, and so we have a lot of fun on the road, because normally they're there wherever we are, they're there too. So we love being with them. We know we have personal relationships with them, and so we encourage you as a person, a Christian, to seek out Christian education, because that is going to give you the very best start as a Christian. I myself started out at Faulkner, and I got my Associate of Arts there, and then I went on and got my social work degree from a state college. But I really feel like that mission is what makes us different here, is from all the other schools, is that all we do is ministry. So ministry is preparing, we're doing the preparing for future, whatever that might be. And I love the coolness of that. Is a lot of people will be like, well, do women,
Yeah.
do women attend,
Yeah.
do we have girls? And we have a lot of young girls who want to go into the mission field. And I'm like, yes, actually you do. Because I mean,
Yeah.
there are women and there are children in foreign countries. There are women and children in every congregation. This world is full of people we need as women to be able to, only we can reach out and make that connection with them. So we also prepare whoever for ministry. We are very very much directed toward, we know what the roles are here between men and women and our roles in the church. And so we always try to make sure that people are very clear about that. But I think the better we are able to explain that, and the better you can study and find that in the word, the better the church will be, the stronger we'll be, because we'll know what our roles are and what a big job we have to do.
Yeah.
So
don't want to get controversial on
Right.
on this podcast, but I think that for a long time, I think women have kind of just been placed on the side. They've not really known what their role in the church, what the church is. I think we're kind of trying to rewrite the narrative a little bit, and kind of make a push toward developing women's ministry, because it's important. It really is, because it's something that's very, very crucial and needed in the church today. It's been needed for years, but I think it's something that even that is seen today as a need, and we're actually taking action and making a push toward that.
That was a big reason why I got excited. A couple years ago, I joined the Heritage team, and that's what I got excited about. I heard about the women's program Radiant, and then meeting some of the people that were a part of it. Of course, we've known Dr. Brothers for many years, and real excited to come and work with him and be a part of this bigger picture. So Caleb and I have been in ministry for over 18 years, and so we've been in these people's positions, and
Yeah.
so it's so cool to be able to be on this side now, to where we can help encourage ministers and ministers' wives and all the above,
Right.
and that different angle
Yeah.
in helping them and encouraging them through their walk. And so it's been a privilege to see and be on this side of it now, and to be able to go and help and share
Yeah.
the Radiant classes and women's further education, all the things,
Yeah.
all the things.
And I think that just feeds back to
Yeah.
the mission.
It does.
Everything, like I said,
Absolutely.
that's the question we all ask ourselves here is, does that point to helping grow the church? Yes, it does. We're just so blessed. We are so blessed here. We're 80% donor.
Mhm.
We are 80% donor funded, and that's exceptional. The Lord is obviously blessing our work. We do our job every day, and He brings the increase, and so
That's right.
it's a phenomenal place to be.
Well, we're unique. We're small, but I think our light shines really bright. We're a resource to the churches of Christ throughout the U.S., throughout the world, and have been for many years. And I think we're going to continue to be, just because of the big things that are happening here with Radiant, with our Berean series, the new things that we're offering in our programs, the affordability of it all, the flexibility of it all. I think we have a fantastic opportunity to turn the world upside down.
Our professors are just outstanding too, and the knowledge that they bring to the table, their personalities are outstanding. Like they're very, very wise men who travel, who've been around the world, who want to be here at Heritage and help future ministers
Yeah.
and ministers.
Yeah, and they are ministers
And-
themselves.
absolutely. And
Currently.
so they bring a whole lot to the table.
I have to say, that's a whole nother unique thing
Yeah.
about the school is like, every class you sit in, you're not only are you getting taught by somebody who, has a prestigious degree, you're being taught by somebody who, has been in the trenches of ministry. They've got that experience that they can pass down to you. Obviously, if you're in ministry, you can't teach everything. But I think with the combined experience of everybody that we've got here, you're pretty stinking prepared for it when you walk out these doors.
Absolutely.
Well, even our students, they have a willingness to learn.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it so fun being
Yeah.
here, because everybody's learning from each other.
Exciting.
Exactly.
To see that in them.
Exactly.
Mhm. Well, we're gonna, this kind of brings us to our topic for the day. If you listen to us very long or watch us very long, you will find out that it takes us a little bit of time to get to where we're going. We like being together, and one thing leads to another, and we're going to have a conversation about most anything every day, any day. But one of the things I always tell people when I start talking to them about if they want to do ministry, I always ask them, basically, what is your why? What is the thing in you that you have that comes natural, that is a thing that drives you? And when you do that thing, you don't get tired. It actually gives you more energy. So that's the thing. If you've talked to me, I've asked you that. What is your why? Why do you want to, what do you think you can give to the world, and happily do that? And that is the thing that makes you decide what your ministry is and
Right.
what you're going to do with your life. So a little bit about me. My why, I would say, is helping. I love helping. I have always loved helping since a little girl. I always talk about that. I think my mother definitely instilled that in me. There you go. That woman, that instrumental woman in my life. My father was a great Christian man, and he was did the things that he was supposed to do for our family very well. But my mother also did, and that was taking me to. She was a nurse, and she took me to visit the shut-ins. She gave their insulin shots, things like that. And I, from a very early age, I developed that love of helping people. I saw it, but not only did I see it, I felt that happiness. And so, in everything I have done in my life up to this point, it's been helping. Reason I married JT, he loves helping. That was the commonality in us. We're both members of the church. We're both Christians. We both want to serve. And that just makes everything better, us knowing our why and doing that together. And I'm sure y'all probably have similar, I think we all have similar stories in that respect. But that is my why. That's when I came to Heritage. Like I said, well, back up. I was at I got my social work degree, and I was, worked with the state, and I did that. I did my time. And so
atmosphere.
I did my time.
Yeah.
And so then when I had the opportunity to come work here, I did it, and I was just like, what am I gonna do in admissions? Like, how am I gonna use my degree, and how am I gonna I was like, okay, well, it's ministry. My husband's an alumnus of here, of IBC. We've always loved the school. I was already working with the associates, the ladies group that Kristen and I are part of here, that raises money for the school as well. And I just thought, why not? It's got to be a great place to work, it has to be. And the longer I was here, the more I saw what I was supposed to do. Jim Collins was instrumental in helping me see that about myself and how I could use that. So it has driven me. That is my why. I like helping, and we get to help a lot of people.
That's right.
And not only people that come to school here, we get to help people, and that's what we really want to do here. This is the whole purpose for this podcast, is that we want to help Christians be the best in their ministry that they can be. They may be. We cannot teach you how to operate on people and be a doctor here. So do not come here if that's what you want to do. But we will help you. We will help you, because we need those people in our lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So so that's about it for me. That's my why.
I think my why is I really have 4 different reasons why I'm in the ministry. Number one, I actually came out of the business world. And then when I started studying the Bible, I saw where a lot of people were really misapplying the scriptures. So my first why is I'm pretty much like you. I love helping people in their salvation process. I noticed along the way, back in early 96, a lot of people was like the Ethiopian eunuch. They were going to church, but they wasn't understanding what they were reading. And so it led me to come here because many people did not know how to properly study the Bible. Once I got here, I was able to correctly learn. I was able to correctly teach others how to apply the scriptures, because I deal with a lot of people that come from the world of gang relations. I was able to make the scriptures come alive to them. You were able to talk with the ladies of the street, able to make the scriptures come alive with them. The school have taught me how to be able to go in, dig for the scriptures, because I deal with a lot of Hebrew Israelites. I deal with a lot of people from the Nation of Islam. So the school taught me a lot how to actually deal with that. So I love helping people in the salvation process. My second why, the reason that I was led to IBC back in the day, back in 96, I'll let you know how old I am, is because I wanted to better myself spiritually. I wanted to grow spiritually. I wanted to learn how to learn. Learn how to learn. Not only learn how to learn, but also wanted to learn how to write a Tapscott commentary, so I can learn the word for myself, so it could be explained easy for myself. So that was my second why. My third why that I'm in ministry is because I have a lot of spiritual sons and I have a lot of spiritual daughters that I love training in the ministry. And then if I have a lot of those spiritual sons, I want to make sure that I'm giving them the right advice and the right interpretation. One thing that I love about this is we love ministry. I can't reach everybody, but if I have 100 sons, 100 daughters, spiritual daughters, then and that I'm training personally,
Right.
then I can stand before God and I can say, God, thank you for the team that you've allowed me to have all these years. But then my most important why, I probably should have started out number one with this, is because I'm a leader of my family. And I have a wife, 4 kids, a grandchild. I love my family. And as a leader, I want to make sure, because they look to me for spiritual guidance. And I want to make sure that I am right with them. I'm leading them the way that God would have me. I don't want to lead my family astray. So that is my why in the ministry.
Yeah.
I love helping people, but more importantly, I love helping my family.
That's wonderful.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
That's you, though. Absolutely. That's absolutely you.
96, huh?
Started, January 96.
That was before I was born.
Oh.
I'm old enough to be your dad.
I know.
That's good. Yeah.
True colors. True colors. It is. That's Dwayne. That's right. I love it.
Well, son, go ahead. What you gonna say?
It ain't
What
my
is your
turn.
why?
It ain't my turn.
Girl, boy, girl. Yeah.
Well, my why is for several different reasons as well. I married Caleb Sampson about 22 years ago, and the biggest reason I married him, along with many reasons, but the biggest was because we wanted to help each other get to heaven. And we would study our Bible all the time, and we would study with other people, and it just has always been a passion. I grew up in not the most picture perfect home, and a lot of interesting stories we'll say for another day. But it has made me realize how much I need God and how much we have hope through him. And so meeting my husband, who did have the picture perfect world, but he brought a lot to the table to me and helped me to come out of my shell, because 20 years ago I wouldn't talk to anybody. I was very an introvert. It's hard to believe now. Now, yeah, it's a whole different story.
Which is great.
But I've gained my love and my passion for the Lord.
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing, is I want to share this hope that I have learned. And so Caleb and I went into ministry and full time, and absolutely loved it. Loved helping women, helped with women's Bible studies, all the things. Wasn't great at it, but loved it. And then 18 years later, we get this opportunity to come work with Heritage, who helps equip the preachers and preachers' wives. And I have fallen in love, and I wished I had HCU 22 years ago, because it would have made a world of difference with my helping women and teaching them, because I'm currently now taking a class with Heritage, and it's women teaching scripture, and it has opened my eyes and to a whole nother world of how to prepare lessons, how do you study, how do you dig deep. And I have been extremely blessed to be here, not only being able to work with you guys and get to know you and make great memories with you, and continuing to do that, and the adventures that we bring along to our events, and getting to know so many different people, and helping and sharing Heritage and the Lord with everybody. And that's why I'm super excited about this podcast too, is to help as many people know how great Heritage really is. It's another family to help you get to heaven is the big picture with all this. And so I'm very thankful to be here, and I love to serve and help as well.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I mean, nothing is beneath me, nothing is above me. I mean, sometimes I need Tap Scott to get a lot, to reach the tall stuff for me. There's always that.
Yeah.
But no, this is a great team. I mean, you couldn't work with a better team. These guys
We're
here.
blessed.
And if you ever see us out, we are easy to approach and ask anything. So Heritage is just it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool
It's a
place.
special place.
Well, I guess if I could boil my why down to one word, it would probably be service. I guess thinking back, throughout my life, there's always been that desire to serve others, to help others, much like y'all said. And I think that's ultimately what led me down the path of ministry. Um, when I was, I guess when I was in high school, I was, wrestling with the same thoughts that every teenager wrestles with. I mean, what in the world am I going to do with my life? I mean, I know. So I talk to doing this job. You talk to teenagers all the time, and I hear the same. I hear the same thing. They're like, I don't know. I don't know. I ask them a question. What am I gonna do with my life? I don't know. I was like, well,
Yeah.
I've been there. And I think we all have. It's a scary thing when you get to that point in your life where you realize high school is almost over,
Hmm.
and you're fixing to go out on your own, and you've got to figure it out. And I personally, I was that guy that I like to work with my hands, still do. I'm the guy that if y'all have ever seen the old show Home Improvement, I'm Tim.
Now you're
I'm
aging
Tim the
yourself.
Toolman Taylor. I'm the do it all around the house. I'm gonna mess something up. Something that is going to go wrong.
And you don't want to
Nothing
hire
is
anybody.
And then I'm going to fix that problem
Yeah.
on top of the other problems. But
We'll put a sign up, nothing
yeah,
disappear.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a story behind that one
yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But my path was going to be, I was going to go into a trade. I was going to do that. But I guess around my senior year of high school, I decided that that wasn't going to do it for me. I realized that wasn't going to be that I guess that wasn't going to be fulfilling to me, and I started exploring other avenues, and ministry was that one thing that had always, I guess, been in the back of my mind, definitely not at the forefront. I'll tell you that, because I was not the guy that was going to get up in the pulpit and speak. Now, I love leading singing. I was the most comfortable
Great
person in
songwriter.
the world leading singing. But if you ask me to get up and preach in front of somebody, it's going to be a hard no from me, because I could not stand it. But I knew that ministry was the ultimate act of service, I guess. That's how you serve people.
Right.
And so I decided that I was gonna go into ministry. And so now when you go into ministry, you got to decide where you're going to go to school at. And of course, you've heard of the Freeds, you've heard of the Faulkners, but lo and behold, there were enough people in my life that had come to school here at Heritage. And of course, I had gone to Titus camp my junior year, so I was at least familiar with the camp. But I had enough people around me combined with Titus camp that I was familiar enough with Heritage Christian University, that ultimately I ended up coming to school here, and the rest is history. I mean, just the time I walked through the doors, the time I walked out, I was a completely different person. Um, Man, like just just sitting through classes, and just the change that happened in my life, it was just, God, it was insane. But and that ultimately, that led to me working here. I did ministry for a couple of years, but decided that full-time traditional ministry wasn't my thing after all. Go figure. That feeling that I had, in high school, it did go away. I'm comfortable speaking in front of people now, and I'm fine with that, and I enjoy doing that. But it's not something that I enjoy doing, every Sunday like Dwayne does.
Every Sunday.
Every driving to two different congregations every Sunday. I tell him all the time, I don't know how you do it. But
You said something.
you
You
reassure
said something
me.
that sparked my, I guess, attention. I like the word that you said, trade.
Yeah.
You was going into a trade. This is the best trade that anyone could add to their resume.
Yeah,
True.
As long as you add this trade, this is something that you'll do for the rest of your
Yeah.
life. So I like that.
Me
Well,
too.
I mean, you're right. And, I tried youth ministry, and, it was great. And, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
And, Heritage prepared me for that. I was more than prepared to minister. But, sometimes God opens his doors for you. And early on in my college experience here, I was provided a unique opportunity by Jim Collins, who was then the director of admissions. Many of you know Jim,
That's right.
and many of you were recruited by Jim. As a matter of fact, I would probably say well over half of our students that we've had at
Yeah.
Heritage were probably recruited by Jim.
I mean, he worked for 20 years,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
so-
absolutely.
and
He's changed the world.
to know him is to love him.
Yeah.
And I was provided a unique opportunity early on with him to be an ambassador for the school. I was able to go on a couple of trips with him and recruit on behalf of the school. And so it's funny how things come full circle sometimes in your life. And at that point, I didn't know that would become a possibility for me in the future, but I knew that it was something I really enjoyed, and it was something that was very fulfilling for me. Well, lo and behold, my senior year, I was in youth ministry, and a job came open here at the school, and I was able to, I walked in Rebecca's office, as a student here. And I asked her if this job was still open. I still remember the conversation that was had. And I was a little scared because of my plan that I had. We all have our own plans. God has different ones, but we all have our own plans.
Amen.
But my plan was to stick it out of ministry because that's what I was trained to do. But Rebecca assured me that it was going to be okay because this is a different kind of ministry. You're not leaving ministry. You're just stepping into a different kind of ministry. And she was right. That's what this has been. This has been one of the most fulfilling ministerial roles that I could ever imagine being placed in. I have reached more people, face to face, and because of the people that I reach face to face, who knows how many people are going to be reached because of the people we talk to.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
That is the exciting part. And I think it's pretty cool that I love this heritage. We're heritage. And the heritage that we pass down. And a couple things you said, like, Jim encouraged me.
Yeah.
He told me, because I thought, I'm a social worker. I'm not a admissions counselor. And but he showed me that was ministry, that my first love, my first passion. And as Christians, I feel like we don't give that enough recognition and enough credit for ourselves, that what we personally do is ministry. But he showed that to me, the love that I had for ministry, helping people, that I would do this job and I would use my skills. And I've used all those skills in helping people. The skills that I've learned along the way. Life has taught me, and college. But, he taught me that. I have passed that on and shared that with others, and like Caleb and Dwayne and Kristen. I mean, that's who I wanted on my team, people that thought like me, that wanted to do the mission. And this has just been a really exciting time. I say all the time, I love my people. They work tirelessly, and they do it from the heart. That's where ministry comes from. If it doesn't come from the heart, we need some more.
Not genuine.
No, it's not genuine. And so I know you will find genuineness in these three people.
Yeah, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea either. Like, this is hard.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, and there are days where, you don't want to get out of the bed. I mean,
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
need a vacation.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I
Like,
think you're about to go.
that's
to
the thing.
vacation.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true. No, seriously.
and that's the thing. Like, you have to pace yourself, because you will allow yourself, if you're not careful, to get burnout.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to get the wrong idea at all that ministry is all sunshine and roses, because it is not. But at the end of the day, you know this is this is the best job in the world.
And the good thing,
And it is the reason I get out of bed in the morning.
right, it is. And the good thing
And-
is that we're looking for people
Yeah.
that want to do ministry, not just. And so I think it's really important what you're saying
Yeah.
is that ministry is not easy.
Yeah, and that's why I say
Yeah,
that, is
yeah.
because I don't want people, I don't want to give people the wrong idea that
Right.
ministry is always easy, because it's hard. And that's what they were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Where we were.
Yeah,
And
really, that's cool.
that was the whole point of the workshop.
Yeah.
Was, hey, ministry has its struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing about the ministry though is setting example.
Yeah.
And I love setting the example for other guys, other women. What they said yesterday, one of the guys asked me, he says, I see you still working at Heritage. I said, correct. He says, are you still preaching at both congregations? I said, correct. He says, I remember what you said. He said, evidently, God have not changed your assignment.
That's right.
And so notice, if God got you an assignment, you have to carry it out
Yeah.
until he changed the assignment.
Yep.
And people who have that tugging and that wondering, if you're wondering, is this what's possible? The thing we do is we remove the obstacles. That's what our team is designed to do. And that's what the school is designed to do, is to remove the obstacles out from beneath, in front of the people that want to do either ministry full-time as a job, or just want to be better in your own congregation or a particular ministry you have outside of the church that you're doing. So it prepares God's children for whatever they want to do. But we remove that obstacles through our scholarship. If you want to go into ministry, I have always told everyone I talk to, if you want to do ministry, finances is not going to be a problem.
That's right.
We find ways. God provides.
That's right.
And that is not the cliche. That is the truth. He does provide a way, and it blows my mind. I love that part of our job too, is that we get to see that turn out. Yeah. So there's enough. You're going to see enough good days in ministry. It's going to make it's going to definitely outweigh.
They far outweigh the bads.
Yeah.
Make you know your why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm in the graduate program. I had forgotten to say that.
And that's the important part.
Yeah.
You got to remember your why.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
you got to
exactly
remember
right.
your why. If you don't remember your why, it's going to be easy to get burnt out.
Yeah.
But, if you remember your why you signed up for this, then it'll be easy to keep pressing forward.
It will. It will. We would love for you to, again, like I said, share your why with us. And hopefully it might have spurred some questions for you. And if it does, we would love for you to, call us, give us a call. Most of our cell phones are public knowledge, but if you just call the school, you'll probably get Kristen, and she'll be happy to direct you where you need to go, who you need to talk to. But if you're interested in anything that you just have a question and you're afraid to ask someone else, we use all kinds of different terminology in admissions, and we use the same terminology that every school in the world does, because of the process we have to go through, the registration requirements, things like that.
And that's kind of our goal for this podcast. It's very different. We don't know of any other admissions teams that are doing this. We're trying to persuade you to come to Heritage. That's obviously that is our main goal.
Ministry.
We want ministry fit students here at Heritage Christian University, but we're also going to talk about topics that are going to be helpful to people that are going to other schools or just going to school in general. So if you do have any questions about that as well, we'd love to talk to you as well. So
we like to help,
and we're gonna cover a variety of topics.
And I like that because if you do have any questions, if you have any concerns, at the bottom of the screen, you will see our name and you will see our email address. So feel free to email us anytime, and we'll be glad to reach out to you as quick as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope you have we found today interesting and at least maybe helpful in some way. And
Yeah.
I hope it has spurred you to want to do ministry, or at least take a deep dive into your why, and why would I do ministry? What would drive me? So the thing that we want to do with the podcast, the biggest thing we have just talked about, we've talked about this a long time, and we've this has really been something that has come up over and over again, is the things that people don't understand. And what we've found is when we're gone out and have been out in events and things like that, we find the same questions over and over again. So one of the things we want to do is introduce, like I said, those terminology. Like we want to cover financial aid. We want to cover business office. What is a FAFSA, like for financial aid? Different things about transcripts. What's important about transcripts? What's important about GPA? What's important? What's a fresh start? Like, how do you get here or get to any college, or accreditation, right? How important that is. And also preparing yourself for the long term, like what that means and what you should start, where you should start. And that's going to be a very interesting conversation.
And do's and don'ts on how not to lose your scholarship when you are somewhere.
Yes, exactly. That is so important. Very good. And then also, what else is some other things we're going to cover?
Financial aid. We'll have Michelle come in and talk to us about financial.
Oh yeah, we'll have guest speakers.
Yeah. We'll have the president on.
We'll have the president.
Because everybody loves Kirk Brothers. And so we're definitely going to talk to Dr. Brothers and interview him.
We'll talk a little bit about our scholarships in depth.
Yeah. We'll have Dr. Daly in to talk about what our programs really, what you can do with our programs, those degrees.
So that would be really good, to just because that hits on which that's become one of my personal, missions, is to get people to realize that, and mainly because that's what I'm doing. You don't have to be a preacher or a youth minister just because you got a Bible degree. Ministry is very broad, and so I really, I think that would be perfect, for him to come in and talk about, what can you do with our degrees.
Yeah. We also got dual enrollment.
Yeah.
So if you're not quite ready for high school or college and you're in high school, you can do dual enrollment.
Yeah. That's going to be that's a great thing to know about. I didn't really know about that when my kids were in that age. So it's a great savings, and there's just a lot that can be done with that. And I think also the programs, like we train people to teach. Like one day you may want to aspire to be a teacher to train future ministers. So it's like literally the list is endless of ministries, because if as many people as is on this earth that God has created, he has a purpose for all of us. And we're all so different. Makes life very interesting. But it is what we want, and you can also, if you have a question, just write it in if you want to.
Yeah,
even
comment underneath and let us know if you have a question or something specific that you want us to talk about. And go into detail.
We'll definitely
let us know.
We'll tackle anything.
We'll do it.
And I've come across several guys that want to go into jail ministry, so we'll be able to do.
That's another thing out there for you to do.
Nursing home ministry. So we'll be able to train.
That's a big. There's nothing that will brighten your day like going into the nursing home.
Yeah, and also working with families that have special needs children. That's a whole nother ministry there in itself. I think
mental health. We have different opportunities to help with mental health.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, through our ministerial counseling degree and master's level. But I just think the most exciting thing is, like, I can't hold it, it's like I have this great gift, to tell every day when I meet somebody.
It's like the gospel.
It is. It's almost like it's the gospel or something. It is. It's the good news. And the good news is you can get prepared to do that. I thought it was funny that everybody, like the two of you all, and in us, we were like, at first you were like, I can't do that. I'm not prepared, And so this is what the school does. I know JT was that way. He tells that story, and it's hard to imagine that. But I just told a student there yesterday that was doing chapel. I said, you know what? All these men that are teaching you, they have their doctorates. They have not always been where they are. And you can you're on your way. You're on your way. And this is the great and exciting thing is we have so many amazing people. We have phenomenal alumni that are doing amazing things. We'll also have some of them.
Killing it.
Yeah.
We're going to have some of those on to tell us about ministry and just give people ideas on what they can do with ministry. So we're just really excited to talk to you guys. So we hope that this has been helpful and interesting to you, and you will continue to tune in, if nothing else, to be entertained.
Hey guys, we had a wonderful time here today. If you love our broadcast, please like, share, and subscribe. And we look forward to seeing you at the next time. Be blessed.
Thanks for joining us for this week's podcast. For more information, go to hcu.edu and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.